What's up, YouTube? So today I'm actually out here in the Alphabet streets. Right now I'm off of, I think this is Chautauqua and Drummond Street. Today I wanted to showcase that there's a famous house right here off of, I don't know, I forget what street it is, but you guys will know by the thumbnail. One of the houses was designed to withstand fire, and it wasn't burned down, right? Right next door to it is a house that they've been constructing for I don't know how long now, but I wanted to showcase the rebuilding process of that house. And I know a lot of the Palisadians and the people who live here in the Alphabet streets love that stuff, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But before I do that, I wanted to clip in a YouTube short that I recently posted, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. And right after that, I'm going to share with you guys my thoughts and comments on that YouTube short, okay? So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Check out this YouTube clip, all right?
For people who are, contemplating, should we sell right now? Should we not? Property values, they're concerned about equity losses. What's your advice?
It's a great question. So the Palisades has dropped 40% since the fires. The value of the dirt has dropped 40%. If someone doesn't have to sell, we're telling them not to sell. To wait, if you can wait out the 3 to 4 years so your equity can come back at least to what the land value was before the fires, that's what we'd recommend.
And you...
Okay, so here's that famous house that I was talking to you guys earlier about up on the right. And then actually this one, I don't know if this property right here, this is 731 Olive Street. I'm not sure if this is for sale anymore. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at a rebuilding update of this house right over here, okay? I know a lot of the Palisadians and the people who lived here are interested in the rebuilding process. And I wanted to show you guys what it looks like, updated. Let me zoom out a little bit, get it broader. So right next door, this is 740 Olive Street. And I'm not exactly sure what this is, but this is kind of cool. RSG 3D Disaster Resilient Panel Building System. Huh. I don't want to go on their property, but it looks like it's like foam or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. RSG3D.com. Very cool. So anyways, this is the house right next door to the famous house that didn't burn down in the fire. Today's Thursday, August, I don't know, it's like 28th or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure why the buildings or the place is locked up, but I mean, I have a suspicion, but it's coming along. Slowly but surely, they're gonna have this home built up and fully redone. And then right next door, here's that famous house that didn't burn down. See if I can get a better view. I don't know why they put this up. This freaking fence, you can't really see. It's terrible. Whenever they put up a fence like this, it's almost like they're hiding something, Let people see your beautiful artwork, and what a resilient home that you've created. But I mean, there's a lot of thieving going on around here and stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff going on. So anyways, this is just a little update. Looks like they're getting ready to put some shingles on the top of that roof. And then you got this lot over here. I'm not sure if it's still for sale or if it's sold or it hasn't sold. I'm not sure. Here's 755 Olive. And then over there, it looks like a for sale sign, but I don't think that's what it is. I think that's like an advertisement for their company that specializes in building homes and ADUs. Anyways. So earlier in this video, I was talking about a YouTube short that I posted not too long ago, actually just the other day. And it was highlighting a statement made by a pretty well-known realtor or broker, or I'm pretty sure the guy's a real estate agent, and I'm pretty sure he owns a lot of real estate here in the Palisades. And basically what he was saying in the video was land values are down 40% in the Pacific Palisades. And I want you guys to think about that statement alone. 40% decrease in the value of your dirt. Literally, like that. It's unbelievable. Really. It's almost like, how on earth is that even possible? And within less than a year, the value of the dirt has nearly halved in value. In some instances, it probably won't be as bad, and in some other instances, it might be worse. The value of the land might depreciate by more than that. You know, if you're up in the hills on Chautauqua, it might be more challenging. Kind of makes you wonder, you know, if land values have dropped that substantially in such a short period of time, what's going to happen to the value of a home, a beautiful home? This was a beautiful place. What's going to happen to the value of a home like this, right? This one obviously was a very well created and designed home. It's a beautiful home. Anyone should be honored and extremely privileged to live in a house like that. It's beautiful. It's a shame that what happened. But if land values are going down by that much, what's going to happen to the property value, home values, right? And this is a newer, more modern style home. You know, obviously it was built extremely well and designed. Maybe it was just lucky, but obviously it was designed to withstand fire. You know what I mean? Somebody put some thought and effort into it, or it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be standing. But now, with that being said, there's a lot of homes, maybe not a lot, but there are definitely some homes in the Palisades that are older homes, you know, that they were built in like the 50s or 60s or whenever they, you know, were built. They're really old and they're still up and about. And that really makes me wonder what's going to happen to the value of those homes. Because at some point in time, it will no longer be, you know, if you have a lot like this with a tiny little, you can see that little shed in the backyard or that small little, you know, detached garage, whatever it was, that thing's worthless now. Like that's almost like just delete that detached garage. That holds no intrinsic value anymore. You know, not especially if you're an investor. Like, you're really buying the lot just for the land now, because if there's a home that's still on it that was built in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, whenever the hell it was built, you're just going to tear that thing down and try to build something like this over here on the right. All of the home, this is my opinion, I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I would just assume that all of those older style homes are just going to get torn down. You know, it just makes sense economically. What's up, brother? Good, how are you? This is another house that they're rebuilding. I don't know what street this is. It's coming along. You know, that brings me to the other statement that was made in the YouTube short by that realtor, Anthony. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Anthony something. In that YouTube short, he also says or advises the Palisadians, you know, if you don't have to sell your land, don't sell. Because he's assuming that in the matter of 3 or 4 years, the value of your land will go back up to what it was pre-fire. That's a very bold assumption. But it's coming from a very reputable source. So you can't not give him credit. He might be right. I don't know what the address is. But he's saying, don't sell your lot if you don't have to. Because in 3 or 4 years, it's going to come back. I find that to be a very bold assumption. That's assuming that land is going to appreciate at 10% a year. And that could happen. It's very possible. I just find it hard to believe. Got another home right here being thrown up. So what do you guys think? You guys think that land values will appreciate in the Palisades over the next 3 to 4 years, 10% per year? I mean, it is possible, especially when you take into consideration everything that happened, pre-fire, how desirable this area was before the fire. Everyone was buying land. You also have to take into consideration who is making this assumption. He's a realtor. He's a broker. He's done pretty well, in the real estate game here in the Palisades. But then again, to be fair, everyone did well. You didn't have to do anything. Home values here in the Palisades, they just went up. You went to sleep at night, you woke up in the morning, and the value of your home went up. That's just the way it was. The demand for housing in these areas pre-fire was through the roof. Everyone wanted to get in. It's a wonderful community. So personally, I would take what that guy has to say with a grain of salt, because he's a realtor. It's in his best interest to say things like that and make these bold, it's not really a claim, but it's an assumption. It's a very bold assumption too. And it's a very bold assumption to make in a high interest rate environment. Even though, the majority of these lots that are being sold are, I would assume, most people aren't using loans, borrowing money from the bank to buy these lots. The lots that are for sale are probably getting swooped up by investors who got serious bankroll. And if you have a broad or a longer, outlook, yeah, in 10 plus years, for sure. 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. If you've got an outlook that long, yeah, there's no way you're going to lose. This is the Pacific Palisades. It's a very desirable place to be. So this is 930 Hartzell Street. I'm not sure if this is still for sale or what. I just find it really hard to believe that land values could drop so quickly in such a short period of time, and then, have somebody assume that land values will continue to go up at a 10% rate year over year for the next 3 to 4 years when there's so many unknowns. And the biggest unknown is really going to be the insurance factor. Like, some of these people are going to go bankrupt. Some of these people are going to go into default. They're no longer going to be able to continue making their payments, on a house that's not there. It's not going to be viable. And considering what's going to happen with insurance in the future, there's no way insurance premiums are coming down anytime soon for a community like this. They're only going to be going up. And they're going to be going up by a lot. And that will definitely push a lot of residents out of the Palisades. This is why you're seeing so many people sell their lots. It's not even because they want to. Nobody wants to leave the Palisades. Like, these people are here for a reason, because this is a great place to be. If they're selling their lots, it's more than likely forced selling. They don't really have any options. Sometimes I really speculate whether or not this was like, I know this is crazy to throw out there, but there's a lot of my viewers who speculate as well that this was like legitimately a land grab. You know, if you wanted to acquire land in the Pacific Palisades, if you were a very powerful individual, billionaire, potentially trillionaire, who wanted to acquire land in the Palisades at a discount and force people to sell their lots because they're underinsured, boy, a wildfire would be sure would be a great way to do it. Now, none of that, you know, is backed by factual evidence or anything supporting it. It's just really just a conspiracy theory that's not really provable. But sometimes I wonder. So this is, I think this is 954 Galloway Street. Yeah, if you were a billionaire and you were trying to swoop up a bunch of land in the Palisades for cheap, how would you do that? Oh, and that doesn't even talk about, this is just the Palisades. Imagine all the homes in Malibu, on the beach in Malibu. Those are gonna be, oh my God. There's literally nothing in Malibu. I drive up and down Pacific Coast Highway all day long, and you don't see anything going on there. That's a whole nother debacle. That's like being on a different planet. This community, the Pacific Palisades and the Alphabet Streets and the Marquez Knolls and the Bluffs, they're all going to get rebuilt. It's just a matter of time. And over a period of time, yeah, the land value is going to quadruple again. You know, they're not making any more land, but they sure as hell are printing a lot of money. And at some point, they're going to do it again. We're going to get another Kung Flu 2, and there's going to be a war, and they're going to lower interest rates back down to zero, and they're going to stimulate the economy, and this thing is going to skyrocket again. When? I don't know. Who knows? It's anyone's guess. But that's going to happen again at some point in time. But in the meantime, land values are down, and they could continue to go down. You know? Nobody really knows. Everyone's just kind of speculating. But I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of investors swooping up land right now at a discount. You know, and if you got a long-term outlook, that's a great investment. But to say that land values are going to appreciate 10% for the next 3 to 4 years, I don't think that's going to happen. Unless that guy knows something that I don't know. Unless he's friends with Gavin Newsom or some pretty big people. Who knows? Could happen, I guess. I mean, you look around. This place is, I mean, many of these lots haven't even been touched or rebuilt, you know? Like, they're not, it's like the homes that are being rebuilt, these people had really good quality insurance. All these empty lots are like in limbo. Right here on Galloway Street and Carey Street. Yeah, and going back to Malibu, like, there's nothing going on in Malibu. Absolutely nothing. I mean, there's just, I don't think I could find right now not a single home being built. If it was burned down in the fires in Malibu, I don't think there's a single home in Malibu being rebuilt. Maybe that's where if this conspiracy that I say or allege is actually true, like that's really where they wanted to land. You want the beach, because that's where the big money's at. If you could acquire beachfront properties at a huge discount, like screw the alphabet streets. Like, yeah, there's a lot of money here, but the real money's on the beach communities over a period of time. Who knows what'll happen with those communities, though. Anyways, so that's just some of my thoughts and opinions and little update on the rebuilding process here in the alphabet streets. All right, what do you guys think? Put it in the comment section below, all of your thoughts and opinions and anything you want to say. Go ahead. So until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later.